or distribution of a controlled deadly substance within a school zone. And that's no joke because that's endangering the welfare of children. They take that shit serious in this state. I hope it's not the case. You know what I mean?
Okay, I just went live. Since we're talking about this case, this man, what's his name? Amon something?
Yeah, something like that.
He was busted in Bloomfield for 84 plants in his backyard. And I guarantee he didn't know you weren't allowed to grow weed. Everybody I talk to, well, not everybody, but most of the people I talk to think you can grow weed in your house. And majority. And here's, I believe there's another black gentleman caught up in the system here again. Like, here we go again.
Yeah. It's sad. It seriously is, man. It's just like a full out assault on a plant. You know what I mean? Like, why? I mean, I understand why. I'm just not going to say my opinion why. Very opinionated, but you know.
How did hemp get illegal? In New Jersey, it's going to be illegal.
Same thing in California. They don't want to get intoxicating people. And that's because in California, Delta 8 as well, it has better sales than probably most dispensaries. California is one of the largest black markets in the country. So it's like, yeah, the state's trying to make money somehow, so they're going to try to do a last-ditch effort in trying to sell Delta 8 themselves and banning it off of retail storefronts. Same thing here in Jersey. They monopolize it, so it's got to be the entire plant, no matter if it's hemp or not, which is crazy to me.
There's millions of bottles of CBD on the shelves at health food stores and pharmacies and all kinds of places.
ShopRite sells it, and CVS and Walgreens. All those tinctures got to get pulled now and thrown away.
It makes no sense.
It's sad. It does make sense. It's corruption, monopolization by politicians in this state of the cannabis industry. It's only legal if it's, sanctioned, sites by them, licensed sites by them. I understand the reasoning behind it and wanting to protect the public, but it's not like people were dying off of eating Delta 8. I have yet to see any record of anyone dying from Delta 8 ingestion or consumption in any way, shape, or form. So is it intoxicating at the fact that you're missing out on possible taxation of a product? I think that's what it sounds like to me in New Jersey, in California.
It certainly is a compassion. It's not compassion for the patients, that's for sure, because
of course
patients want it. They want this. They want CBD.
I take Delta 8 myself. Now I can't have access to it. The fact is that Delta 8 has a lower tolerance threshold for me as a cannabinoid that I have not ingested in regularly, and now I can no longer access it. I was eating Delta 8 gummies to go to sleep at night. My quality of life means nothing to these politicians that want to tax it and put it in dispensaries. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Politicians are for the people, right? Funniest joke I told all of my fucking life.
Oh. Well, we know the biggest one. Scutari.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I talked to a patient who used to live next to his grandmother, and his grandma used to grow weed.
That's crazy. That kind of irritates me a little bit.
And people say I'm making that shit up, so I made a video of the girl saying it, and now nobody says nothing because now they think maybe she's making it up. Well, nobody's making shit up. This guy is full of shit. This guy's fucked up, and nobody wants to fight this guy. Everybody's tippy-toeing around him. They're scared of him, and I'm sick of it.
What's the state tax now? 23%, 22% or something like that? Supposed to be?
Yeah.
They were supposed to phase out by year 5 of like medical patient zero
I think
percentage
they
of
phased.
taxes.
Didn't they phase it out yet?
I think so. It should have by now. I mean, it's been 3 years since 2.5 years. Yeah, going 2.5 years since it's been wrecked. So
You can't just get rid of the tax. You got to phase it out gradually. That's
of
messed
course,
up in itself. For sick
but
people,
dude, think about it. If New Jersey is flaunting that they're making $1 billion in sales, they're getting 20-something% of that in taxes. Why would they want to mess up that literal cash cow by allowing CBD shops and smoke shops to sell CBD? Let's tax that too and make it $1.5 billion. Why not? Yeah.
well, they don't care about the taxes. They don't care about the taxes in the urban enterprise zones for wheelchairs, though. But that's a health issue. They don't care about health issues.
If you're not healthy enough to get into the dispensary, that's your problem in their eyes.
Yeah, dispensaries without wheelchair access really irks me. It's like you want to tax the crap out of us, but if you're a disabled vet or somebody with cancer or someone in a wheelchair, you can't get into these dispensaries. What kind of shit is that? Crazy.
Well, they're forgetting about the patients realistically in this state, and it's sad.
No F's given for the patients in New Jersey.
Mm-mm. It's crazy, man. It's like people like me are the reason why the state makes so much money as a patient. I spend so much money on cannabis and medical necessities, whether it be topicals, edibles, flower, concentrates. Like, seriously, it's not fair to patients like me that want to spend this money and can't because the products are subpar and don't work. What am I going to spend my money for if it's not going to work for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point? I need relief. I need a better quality of life, not hopes and prayers and, hoping that it works. Not like I know for a fact it works, and these people are just like, oh, yeah, no, you can't get CBD or Delta-8 now. You're beat. You know how many CBG and CBN edibles I was getting that helped me with my pain daily that I can no longer access now? CBN and CBG, how many plants or even products are on the market that are high in CBG and CBN? Next to none. Next to none. That's literally more derived than hemp. You have smallest percentages of CBG and CBN on any of the products on the market. Now I can't have fair access to that because these politicians want to profit off of us. It's another reason why I don't like government. Quit meddling in things that have nothing to do with you. You're just ruining the crop. Ruining the image of a plant by corporatizing the plant.
Speaking of pain,
what's up? You're all right? You're in a lot of pain today?
Speaking of pain, I have the kind of pain that you get anxiety from.
Yeah.
And October is always a bad month for me. I always get the worst neuropathy around October. So I have anxiety because I know it's coming. And my right arm already has nerve pain in the elbow. Like constant, it doesn't go away. And it's like,
yeah, it's in my shoulder.
It's there. And it's going to get worse. And I'm just like, I have so much stress over that shit. Oh, so this stress, on top of being in pain, there comes the mental part of it, which is, that whatever it is that comes along, depression, anxiety, all the manic depression, up and down, all that shit comes with pain.
The clinical depression is no joke when you're fucking in crazy pain and you go to sleep in pain and wake up in pain. I was like, a lot of people don't realize that I go to sleep in pain and I wake up in pain, and I need to mitigate that. Literally, I need to go to sleep medicated to get my 8 hours of sleep. People don't realize that. People don't realize that this gives us a better quality of life, and they're just like, oh, you don't really need it. You can just spend all the tax money on what? Taxed medication? That makes no sense. I don't see any taxes on any dialysis machines or anything of that sort. Or anything with diabetes, or anything with zero taxes on any of that medication. And here we are. So it's a cash crop to them,
They give out certain drugs for free.
Narcan, one of them.
Yeah, they should give out cannabis for free. Maybe insulin too.
Sometimes, yeah, they give out the accessories for the insulin. The insulin itself is like really hard to get free unless you're like on your deathbed almost. They give it to you heavily discounted. My grandma's the same way because she's on like Social Security and stuff and like retired. So like she gets like the test strips are free, the little needles are free. The only thing she has to pay for is the actual insulin itself. Like she pays for a small percentage, you know what I mean, because of her Social Security. But even still, so she like still has to pay out of pocket for it, even though she has insurance. Like, okay, you know, she's got Medicare, Medicaid, whatever the older folks get. But like, what? Why does she have to pay for insulin to live? Like that makes no sense. Why is she still paying a copay and she's like 89 years old? Woman's almost 90. Makes no sense to me. She's literally thinking about getting a part-time job just to be able to afford rent and her medication. It's crazy, man. It really is. But my phone is dying. I gotta run. I'm sorry. I just realized my phone's on 11%.
Jimmy Carter turned 100 years old today.
Holy hell!
And he's been in a hospice. He's been in hospice for 19 months.
Jeez.
I thought yeah, he's been in hospice 19 months and he's 100
years old. Wow. My man is up there. Old as hell. Wow. 100. Jimmy Carter. We lost here, Lefty. I think you might have lost service, Lefty. You're coming in and out on the phone. But I'll hang for a little bit until you get back. Until your phone works again. When you get back in the studio. I think you might have lost service.
Somebody's calling me.
Yeah, you're choppy. Sound
Really?
like a robot.
Hold on.
What's happening, Jim?
Oh, hey.
What's up, Bear?
What's going on, Bear? It's Paco. I've been knocking on the door for a little while.
Yeah,
I know you. Yeah, I know. I was watching. And,
yeah, me too.
And I'm gonna finish rolling this up here. I apologize for my being slightly tardy.
Hey, look, this is hilarious.
I could make up a good excuse, but it'd be a lie. But I don't know. Seems like that's what you do, you know. Well, my dog ate my homework. Oh, no, wait, there's something else.
I love this comment.
Yeah, no, right? That's such a good one. He's right.
I'm hiding. I'm actually not hiding. I'm actually out in the open where people can smell it and see me. So I'm not hiding. I'm just kind of not able to smoke inside the building. So that's
because of licensing issues.
It's funny. Look, you right in the middle of town center there saying, I'm not hiding. I mean, I can see it. You're right in the middle of town. You're a fucking huge half monster.
All right. I got to run, guys. My phone is dying. I'll be on in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, Papa.
Later, guys.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Hey, man, Lefty looks like me when I got to pee when he's going out there. I mean, he's hustling out to the parking lot. Every day he's hustling. I stole that from Cat Williams. I can't help it.
I'm going to go back outside and smoke some more.
I thought I was going to smoke. Left my wraps home.
Well, hey, maybe I'll go out on my back porch. Wait a second. Bear's in an automobile. I could go out in my car. I about have to get on the phone, though.
We can all get in our cars.
Hey, then we could start driving around.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. A little Russian phone roulette.
Well, we were talking about the guy who just got busted with 84 plants in Bloomfield.
Yeah, what about that? I didn't hear that part yet. 84. That just sounds like somebody threw a bunch of seeds.
Yeah, they're in his yard.
Well, that's a lot. I mean,
Hold on, I'm hearing noise. Hold on, let me see who's.
well,
It's Bear. Bear, what is that noise?
I don't know. What you talking about?
I'm hearing a noise.
I'm going to mute my mic and see.
I was hearing like a clacking, clanking. I think he was probably rolling a big fat blunt. That's what he was doing. That's what I want to be doing right now too. I want to make noise like that.
big fat blunt. I feel like I should roll a bigger one.
Roll another one.
I almost never do this.
You're
Well, anyway, while you're doing that, just because it's on my mind, I can't believe more people don't marvel at your performance in Edison. And I wanted to ask you about that. When did you know you owned the building there? No, I mean, no, seriously. What? Because I watch, I learn. When I see something I like, I try to learn from it. I don't find ways to say, "Oh, I could do that too." I try to think, what was it that I liked about it so much, and can I emulate that? But I think it's just something that looked like it happened. It's the second time when the attorney had something to say was the last thing he had to say. The man didn't open his freaking mouth after that, And then I was laughing. I mean, I've watched it 3-4 times. I really get to laughing about the end when you got a minute left and you've already kind of let it all out, but the crowd calls out for more. You got another minute. It's like, man, I think I'll just sit here and look at you for a minute. Yeah. How'd that feel? And even that worked. It's almost like getting stuck for something to say, what am I going to do? A minute, and it was like seamless and flawless. I don't think it's something you could really one can really gain from it.
I was mad because I saw Christo get thrown out of the meeting right in front of my face.
Yeah, but let me ask you about that. Was that not planned? I mean, it doesn't work if he doesn't get thrown out. You don't get asked to take off your mask. Nobody sees the communist sticker. That thing never happens without him.
I still didn't like it. I didn't like it.
You didn't like him opening the door for you to be like that. You should love shit like that.
No, I just the whole.
I mean,
their government sucks over there, and they violated his. When you see his rights being violated on TV, it's one thing, but when you see it right in front of your face, and the cops grabbing him and pulling him out of there,
I'm glad it did, but that didn't do it to me because he's kind of not used to it, but. It's 5 minutes where all you could see was this part of his face. Anyway, so he's already masked, and he's blaming it on maybe getting COVID. Bullshit. That's not why he's masked. We know why he's masked. But when he didn't get thrown out, he's like, hey, you can join my religion. All you got to do is put on a mask. And that was like absolutely to trigger them to do it. And then it almost looked like on the way out. I mean, I almost like yes, that was the plan. How much time do I have? Yeah, a minute. Okay, let me put my mask on so you can throw me out. So when Lefty goes up with his mask on, which you can see right from where you are, Mr. Mayor or Mr. Attorney, that you can see it, but I know you're going to ask him to take off his, after kicking somebody out for wearing a mask, the next person comes up with a mask. Their fate was sealed, I mean, it was almost like they didn't see it coming. I mean, maybe they thought, well, we got a free pass on El Rampador. And, not for nothing, but if this was like a movie, it would have been written in that scene where the mayor goes, "Okay, who's next? El Rampador." Okay. Like, okay, we're getting back to the meeting. It's sort of like I'm picturing you doing this in your mind. Okay, I'm coming out, lean in, boom, and you're never going to see another meeting like that where everybody's so silent that it was deafening. It was perfect. The one time, do you fight in a war? I didn't think so. You? You? And then the third person, you? No. That, no. Very quiet. Sorry, sorry, Mrs. Lubner. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It was, I just think it's the kind of thing I would watch before going to a committee hearing.
Sir,
not because I would
address,
want
please.
to emulate.
I'm answering you. Huh?
Really
sorry.
gets
Sir, can I get the name and address? Well, I never give my name, and I never give my address. You've recognized. I'm speaking. Well, I never give my name, and I never give my address. I don't want to be dealing with the madness. The road I live on, the part of town I'm from, is it even this one? Is he rich? Is he scum? I'm just here to drop bombs and shoot missiles at corrupt government officials. I'll be taking names, creating change. What the heck? You might be writing me a couple checks. You think I'm serious? Or I'm delirious. You're the ones whose actions are nefarious. What's his name? We don't know. Well, put me down as good citizen or put me down as John Doe. You don't need my name, and you don't need my address. You don't need to know any of my status. How dare you pry and always try all the time, government trying to take what's mine. Can you make sense of this? How this information is personal and sensitive, and I'm never going to exchange the fourth to exercise my First Amendment. I'd just like to make a statement. Name and address, please.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was Bongholio in Edison.
Oh yeah.
He went on after I did, and he left them with a smile on their face. I may have left them like with a little poop in their pants, but he actually left a smile on their face.
Wasn't more of the same. He didn't come out with a mask. They were just happy about that.
He's going to go there as Bongholio because Bongholio is actually unmasked. It's just basically a coat. It's a big coat, and his face can be seen. So how are they going to deal with Bongholio singing this song to the council, I wonder?
Well, when is the next meeting, council meeting in Edison?
I have to look that one up. That's a good question.
Thank you. It's the first one that pops to mind when they're trying to hustle to get something done. And will they have Zoom? And if they don't, is El Rampador going to show up? That's in their heads.
Let's see. Council agendas. The best way to do it is look for Edison agenda. And then it'll come up. And here we go. Oh, great. Nope. Calendar. I have to go. Where's their stupid calendar? When you can't find it there, you go to the calendar. What a pain in the butt.
Well, it's only a pain in the butt when you're eating up airtime doing it. Just saying, you wouldn't mind if you were sitting around. So they either are or aren't going to have access by Zoom by that meeting. And I'm guessing you would have two different reactions. I mean, not even like you can thank them, because you dragged them to it kicking and screaming. It's like, I don't know that guy that first stopped everything said, I mean, he's got a point. You know, that guy changed.
That's when I pooped my pants.
Yeah, that guy changed your day, man. Where were you? You went off camera. You weren't out. Were you just over by a wall somewhere?
I was promenading out. I do the promenade out, and I was going disability rights or human rights, and I was heading towards the metal detector, and I heard him say, "Hey, that guy was right," or he has a point there.
Yeah,
I was like,
"Oh."
Yeah. Turn right around. I'm like, what did you just say? Oh man, that was a good one. That got me.
Well, somebody had to get it. I mean, there was enough of them there, but he did more than just say that. He went by the we'll deal with everything at the end. One more person to speak, and then when he's I thought we did these one at a time. We're doing it now. No, let's just do it. You know, and nobody objected to him moving on, whether or not anybody. You know, well, we can take that up at another meeting and discuss it. And what that gentleman offered was, there's nothing to discuss. He's right. We can do it.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I would think that's kind of an example for everybody. It's not different anywhere else that doesn't have Zoom. Why don't they? And how is that not worth it to their aged and disabled? You know, they would like to go to meetings. I don't know if they know it or not, but old people like to go to meetings. I mean that sarcastically. Everybody knows that. They'd love to be there. It'd be something to do. Oh, hey, honey, there's a council meeting tonight. Let's do that. You know.
It looks like the 9th. Is it the 9th here?
I don't know.
It looks like the 9th.
That's coming up. It'd be a week.
I thought there was something else on the 9th. Let me check.
Week and a half. Week tomorrow. 9 days. 8 days.
Let me check the events here.
You ever considered just giving them a call and saying, how's it coming with the Zoom meeting? Do I need to be there or not? I mean, you know, just making it even more personal, you know. And you got a call from El Rampador? That was pretty funny.
No, South River is Monday, October 7th. Edison is Wednesday, October 9th. And then Sayreville is Tuesday, October 15th. So, yeah, I'll see if Anholio is going to go on the 9th. That's pretty cool. I think Pat Duff wants to go. It's going to be a real shit show. Pat Duff wants to get thrown out. I might wear a burqa.
Ooh, I don't know about that. A guy do that might be almost where a burqa would be like not making fun, but somebody who would actually wear one would probably object to using it like a prop. I would think perhaps it's a religious thing.
Okay, my backup plan is it'd
be like me giving the cross, you know, left-handed or something.
Well, my backup plan, that doesn't bother me. My backup plan would be a facial mask that you would get in the store to get your face defoliated. And I would wear that to the council meeting because it's a health issue. I'm wearing it for health reasons.
Yeah. What if they said, okay.
Thanks. I'm defoliating in front of your eyes. Well, I'm also getting a Brazilian butt bleed. Want to see?
Getting this. It just reminded me of a Saturday Night Live thing. I don't know. This is taking hold. You know. That was where everybody had something really nice for Christmas. Guy had, I think, you know, the board meeting, and the guy had a great watch, and somebody else had something else, and I forget which guy it was. You know, I was like, I got a ball liquor under the table right now. This guy had a watch, and this other guy's just smiling at the meeting. Anyway, Gee, where did Lefty go? I got to admit, it is pretty funny. I want to hear about how things went at the opening. Wow, that looks nice. I never got this good view here. Huh. Yeah, that's a pretty good job. Oh, you're muted.
I know it's backwards, but
Oh, okay. Yeah.
you know what it says. I know what it says. Wink's as good as a nod.
To a blind man. Come on. To a blind man. That's the end of it. Wink's as good as a nod. What's the rest of that? Yeah. We'll wait. And you're muted.
So I'm hoping in January, Chris Goldstein would like to do another hot box for home grow.
That would be good.
That'd be fun.
You could also, if he does do that, I got a very short list of things I wanted to bring up. Yeah, the video work that you got done there, that everybody came was pretty good. For Why Am I Still Waiting at the last hot box, and that really worked out well. I think your Why Am I Still Waiting segment got good reviews from those at CMMJ. And they're actually a pretty good focus group, because if they think it's pretty good, it's not going to offend anybody.
Well, they gave me the idea to switch it up, and so did you, to switch it all up. They like the edit.
Yeah.
They like the edit a lot. So I was like, yeah, it works.
Subtly, what else they like is that they'd made a suggestion and you took it and it worked. That's actually kind of rare when somebody does something and you think, you know what you should do? How often does it ever get done with somebody else's product when somebody says, you know what you should do? So
if it's a good idea. I guess if it's a good idea, okay.
Okay, you say only if it's a good idea.
Only.
Others say not even if it is, because if it is a good idea, that means I could have done it, and that mother effer doesn't think of things before I do. I'm just saying that I found that to kind of be a pretty normal human trait, because sometimes what you do is kind of simple and it works. Now, I imagine there's some people trying to come to grips with the reality that you kick somebody's ass in medicine doing everything the way they would never do it.
I did everything wrong. I pointed at the council. I yelled at them. I called them names. Everything you're not supposed to do. But I was fucking mad, so it worked. And I don't do that to every council. I'm not going to do it to every council, but I'm going to do it to Saraville.
Yeah, it was controlled. Listen, you say mad. It's the one time, and I think by definition, once you brought the Bible out, you were displaying righteous indignation. Righteous, righteous anger. because it was well placed. There's things to be angry about. When somebody, and I don't want to say on the national stage who and what, but when somebody says everybody's a hater, always picking on me, it's like, no, people are picking on you when you do shit wrong and absurd and outside of normal human intelligence. That's the actual reaction that should be. And I don't know. I was, I didn't jump on the Rattari bandwagon the minute started talking about it. It sounded good. And I can see the root of people's misgivings in a way. But not once I saw Rattari. He's a sweetheart, that guy. I've grown to like him. I felt bad when he fell over the other day, almost like, oh no, Rattari. But I think it was exactly the right reaction. I'm sorry, man. This is Jersey. When somebody's a rat, they get called a rat. So you can blame it on the Jersey culture. I mean, it's not really like that, but it's kind of fun when Jersey turns out to be what people's profile of it is, that part, and I definitely like that. It's like a body blow. It's just a warm up. It's not gonna in and of itself do anything, except for it does get the other signs noticed. So I would bet more people read signs with Rattari out there than just walking by a place at the State House that has signs. Gee, when has that ever happened? So, but now that you got that video work out there, and I would hope might be able to find convenient ways to corral more videos, because the answer to why is there no compassion is it's not right in front of people. I would say,
Well, it's funny. There's people that won't share that video because it's got Scutari's name in it. They feel you're talking about Scutari, and they won't share it because of that.
Well, again, he shouldn't be doing things that people will talk about that haven't been done quite in the way he's doing it, like take a healthcare issue and not allow it to be heard for, it'll be coming up on 4 years on March 9th or 19th.
People are scared of him. The business leaders have gotten to some of the activists, I'm sure, and told them not to support the rat because they're going to do it this other way, this diplomatic way, the same shit they've been telling us for 10 years. So, again, if people smoke up my ass for 10 years.
I don't know about anybody really getting pressured as much as it doesn't need to be said by people. It's obvious Scutari isn't going to like that. So those who feel that they have some connection because he makes them feel that way, or it's comforting to think that you've got somebody's ear. But like I say, he calls the weak ones from the herd, not the strong ones. He doesn't want, he wants what not head nodders. Yeah. He wants a bobbing head nod. And, it's why it's certainly not on this scale. I wish there was something other than Neville Chamberlain to invoke, but, on a world scale, when Hitler said, listen, if England, UK doesn't come in when we go marching through Poland, we won't cross the channel. Don't worry about it. And that just like gave a head start, got traction on the wrong side of the issue there. So if a man is not doing what he's supposed to as Senate president, what's the downside? That is it, he'll do it when he's ready and not until, no matter if you're his best friend or his worst enemy. He's not going to do shit to pay people back. He may have more pleasure out of being the ass that he is with us, you know. But it needs escalation like this. And it can't just stay the same. And when you're running out the clock, say in a basketball sense, you got to go for the guy with the ball, you know. You can't just let him just sit there and look at you and you look at him and he's got the ball and then time goes by. Not with a health issue. You know, it's just not that visible to people, people that matter. I don't know if you remember how much Jeff Oakes wanted to chain himself to the door of the State House. And, you know, I didn't hop right on the, well, I don't know if he actually talked to a lot of people about that. Maybe he was talking to me about that a lot. And I didn't really try to dissuade him because it just seemed like he was grasping at something because he didn't know what else to do. You know, and doing just anything rather than doing nothing actually isn't always the best thing to do. And I worried more for other shit that would drag him into. But you know, he I guess when you're in Jeff's situation, you feel the clock ticking, and one day isn't the same as the next. It's a day closer to the end of everybody's life, really. Not just if you know that it's probably closer to yours than the end of other people's lives. So, you know, you feel the clock ticking. And I spent a long time feeling like that, obviously on Cheryl's behalf, you know, because we didn't have time to wait for everybody to figure shit out. If there wasn't new information being put into the equation, if it's the same equation the next day, it's a waste of time. Nothing happened. When somebody says we're working on things, I say if you're not working on it every day, you're not really working on it. You know, I mean, sometimes you got to wait for test results to come back. Okay, stuff stops for a while. But then you can also get a little bit ahead on future things. When we've seen when somebody in Trenton wants something done 6 days, just like God, you know, you get done in 6 days. I forget what it was, but that happened while we couldn't get shit moving maybe 8 years ago. And something that meant something, I mean, it got brought up. It got something happened and it kind of started the clock ticking. We need to take care of this. And it was it. It was done. It was signed. It was either on the governor's desk or signed, but 6 days was the number. I know you were, Leslie, I know you were part of that amazement there that, holy crap, they can get it done in 6 days. It was in the Christie days, you know, probably halfway through it. But no, it might have been in his first time.
It was a cannabis regulation.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, what was one? It was like fixing a mistake.
It was a cannabis regulation.
And it also underscores that you can fix something in 6 days. This whole nonsense about trying to get it right, and that Nick Scutari can say, I got to make notes because this is important, this part. He said, you can't let me just write it down. If I don't do it, enemy of the good. You can't let a perfect bill be the enemy of the good. That was when he couldn't get the votes in Senate to pass legalization in the first place. He couldn't get Fruquan could not get him that 21st vote in the Senate. So that's what Scutari was saying. You know, we can't let the enemy of perfection be the enemy of the good. And Vin Gopal pointed out to somebody in a news video that Yeah, we can do cleanup bills. You know, you plan to do a cleanup bill. You know, you got to get it done, but you got to find out what you got to clean up. You can't start guessing all the things that might happen. Okay, this one we could fix real quick. And then he pointed out that we're still having cleanup bills for alcoholic beverage controls in the state of New Jersey. And it changes, you know, it's not even there yet. Nothing's ever final. You can always change it. So a delay coming up on 4 years for having a hearing. I'm hoping people kind of catch on that want things to move, that we really do have to narrow this down solely to that, getting a hearing. Nothing else matters. Fire all your guns at once. That's Steppenwolf. I find wisdom in old songs. Yeah. But anyway, it's time to, it's that. And it's medical. Because, well, it should be for everybody. Lean into like and slap you. Of course it should be for everybody, but that doesn't get it done. What gets it done is everybody saying it should be medical. And then when that gets done, then it should be for everybody. It's not going to happen at the same time. And I hate having that argument with people who are smart enough to know that it's not just the way it kind of works out. It's what gives most all the arguments for legalization for adults. The sky's not falling for patients, then let's get the discussion going. That's why patients aren't getting it. It's because Scutari really doesn't want to discuss it for adults. That's where the money is for the state. So it has to cast a wide net, and we have to make that not worth it. And even I got to keep telling myself, make sure on one sign I made, I put medical or patient home grow. It's that makes it's a health issue. You have a right to ask for a fast track on a health issue, not a blockade. And also, when you're wrong on a health issue, you can't say I'm sorry. It doesn't work. That person doesn't get that time back. I don't know. I don't know how to get people excited about that. Ratari's the best thing we got going right now. And I really want to come up with the I've got it all in pieces right now. Why Scutari, the final answer to that in a short and medium longer version. You know, we have that timeline of medical home grow efforts in New Jersey that I made those copies of. And that's real good for like sound bites and talking points along the way, but a full accounting, you know, that includes things like he asked Governor Corzine for a pardon for John Wilson for growing 17 plants once he got sentenced. He asked for a pardon for somebody, a patient, for growing 17 plants who has the same affliction that Scutari's mother has, MS. And Nick was so sure we were going to have home grow because he'd already gotten his he was so sure it was about to happen that's what the pardon was based on. I got to get the time frame together. I did, but I don't know how to file stuff on loose stuff. So how could that man do that? Ask a governor for a pardon for something he doesn't even want discussed at a way lower rate of 4 plants, not 17, you know? That illustrates the turnaround, hence why we consider him a rat. I mean, he could go to how many times do you think Scutari's ever asked anybody for a governor for a pardon for somebody. Has he ever done that before, do you think? That's the only thing. And now he's in the way, but nobody knows that. So I'm just saying that in the final accounting, shit like that has to be done and with links to everything. So it's not just, you can read it hard copy, but when you read it electronically, you'll be able to click on the links to see and listen to and where it comes from. That's what I need to get ready, It doesn't help when you're talking in person and all, but then as long as you can give them something where they can go get all the weeds that come with it, it'll be easier to see why we call him a rat. And when you really think about it, he deserves to be called way worse than that. I think you're letting him off easy, and that's good though, because it becomes an increment. Get a 20-foot cockroach. See how that looks.
Ooh, that's a good one.
No, I was only kidding, man. Don't do that to me. Yeah.
Coctari.
Medman, fuck begging the state, federal. No. Medman, you can't advocate that we let them off the hook. That makes no sense. You can do both. You can beg, and it's not begging the state, really. I don't think Rattari is begging, so I don't want to say appreciate, but I don't go along with that as being begging. There are ours that are begging by their silence, is where the begging's being done. There are those that say, well, you should. That's the holdup there. Nah, we don't disagree a lot, but I reject that. But I'm smiling. I know you can see that. It's there are times, and and as I'm the only one that's ever ticketed a legislator's house, yes, Rattari is a spectacle. See, that's what gets people to look. A spectacle. Yes, you're right. It is, and to affect. I saw people reading those signs after looking at Scutari signs, and then walking in and actually took a picture. Yeah. I think if patients were actually begging, they'd get it. They're not. They're in fucking visible.
A lot of them are sick and in bed, or they're in wheelchairs, or they're just sick.
I don't doubt that people that love people like that would do some begging to keep a loved one from being in pain. But it's not going to do anything. No, that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When nobody tries, it certainly doesn't get done. And generally you don't get anything done by yelling at the town council, right? I mean, even Lefty, of course, says, yeah, I did everything wrong, but it worked, So I think we can do more than chew gum and walk at the same time, too. These are not mutually exclusive ways of doing something. So to say something shouldn't be done is being lazy. It's easier to not do something. So if somebody wants to do that and can open the door for somebody else, then logic can walk through. And everybody, they can just grow their own anyway. But sometimes patients are more afraid of getting caught because of their health reasons, or just, people don't go to the wall very often. So I understand because the only time I've ever been arrested is on purpose 3 times. I really don't need people to tell me otherwise.
Yeah, then there's the people that say no mens rea, grow it anyway. And I agree with the premise of no mens rea, grow it anyway. I agree.
Yeah.
But, however, patients are going to have stress. You got people with cancer that are going to have stress, and if they get arrested, it's even more stress.
They have people that can't take care of themselves. The idea of anything to do with a court case. Oh yeah, wait a second, no money for a lawyer either? Well, I'd be public defender. You know. Oh, not to mention going without their medicine even more. They're rolling the dice, and if something goes wrong, it's their health, not just the lawyers and time and outsmart somebody, and that works out good. So yeah, I'd say somebody that recommends to somebody, just grow it anyway. If that person, I mean, I just grow it anyway. You can say, hey, I just grow it anywhere. I would, but you recommend that to somebody and they get caught, I would feel a little responsible chipping in for not working out for that person that would get caught at somebody's suggestion. But I think what I like about is we do come from different directions, you know, so that the times that I'm wrong, I love being proven wrong. You know, I mean, I really do. And, I know you're that way too, Lefty. You know, you learn from that, but generally, I don't know. I have a point of view that comes from a very specific direction. And I guess I know what it's like to lose, you know. I mean, lose. Didn't get it done in time. So.
Do we give meds to patients with the fear of them being arrested?
That's a hypothetical that doesn't advance the discussion. You know, oh, what about this? What about that? You can do better. Give us something else.
And then they were taking all the same risks before legalization.
Yeah, not decrimmed. Well, they were also they're taking the same risk. I'm talking about patients, so I don't know exactly if that's. I don't know exactly what that means. Listen, you know, Medman, I want you to call. Could you call in so we could do this on the air? This is like stupid, you know, and it's also bad podcast. Can he do that, Lefty? Can he just call in?
Well, sure. I could send him the link.
Well, then this is stupid. Come on. I mean, I know it's not got a huge crowd watching, but sometimes, you know, it'd be nice to keep it a little tighter than this, and keep in fact in mind that it is a podcast, not Pee Wee's Playhouse.
He's watching. He's watching on Facebook, so I'll have to link the Facebook.
Well, otherwise, you know, let's, you know, we do this every week. Schedule it. Be on the show. Let's do it. You know, let's have a discussion. But this isn't a discussion. You know, it's sort of like when I text back and forth even a second time, the third one's a phone call, so I call. I don't go 3 long in a text. Text back and forth. You know, usually my third text is your phone's ringing, and then the phone would be ringing. Yeah, I have a little kind of limited time tonight too. I mean, if it's just going to be us.
Hold on. Sorry.
Anyway, you know, it also should be not so much about what not to do, but what specifically to do. You know, and not in generalities. And stuff that's mutually exclusive is one thing, but stuff that isn't mutually exclusive, doing more than one thing is better than doing just one thing, you know. That's why I like Lefty that you're trying Ratari, because nobody else is, and we do get to see what works. And yes, it is a spectacle. By definition, that's the whole reason for getting it.
Yeah, people stop and look, and they want to know what the signs are about, and they're just like, what is going on here?
That's the door opener. I mean, you know, going to meetings is a good thing, but they don't have them. Going to a hearing is a good thing, but wait, it's about getting them to have the hearing.
Yeah, we need hearings.
Well, yeah, I mean, you go to a municipal meeting, they're scheduled, it's a hearing, but when one is not being scheduled, that's a whole different issue. It is. It's censorship. Censorship of more thoughts than words. We don't want these thoughts being discussed on record.
It's bizarre.
Well, it is. But that means we don't know something. Whenever something makes so little sense that it just doesn't make sense, that's because we're missing it. We're missing something. All right, you got it done.
I think his microphone and camera are booting up or something here. It's probably asking him to connect your microphone, connect your camera, and Medman?
I can't even remember what the issue is we were talking about specifically.
Medman? Maybe jump off and jump on again, because I don't think you're...
Yeah,
oh, there he is.
Got it.
There we go. He's in the car.
Oh, no.
Everyone's in the car.
Driving. Well, tell you
I'm going out in my car. Going out to my car. Hold on.
Oh, come on. I want to go to my car, too.
Oh, wait, he's frozen. I don't know if that's going to work. Maybe jump off and jump on, Medman. I think your feed might be... Hey, at least he has a seatbelt on. Look. That's good.
Yeah. Well.
He's trying. I see the thing working. I can't go out to my car until he gets on.
So we do this this is technically potential board meetings if people show up, right? I want to make sure I got the right days. Tuesday would be the potential for board members, Thursdays for having it's for having special guests right now. I love the way that's working out. But this isn't much of a board meeting at all. I enjoy,
Yeah, we haven't had a quorum lately. We do have a lot of meetings. We have a weekly meeting. Most boards meet once a month. I mean, once a quarter. Once a quarter.
Yeah, well, I think you're supposed to have a certain amount of board meeting. I think that might be the bare minimum. But I like the idea that it's still good. It's more like a chat group, and I know that we had CMMMJ board meetings, a board meeting thing on Facebook, and then somebody was like, "Well, why don't we just have a chat group on Facebook as well?" I mean, in other words, the same people, but the chat group is where all the good ideas start in rather than a board meeting, and then so that works out pretty well. I mean, what I'm saying is I'm good with doing this, and you get to go over things that you wouldn't be discussing at a board meeting, which is good.
We got a couple of events coming up. We have the South River. Ignorance is no excuse, South River. Oh, and there's a home growers cup at Weedman's joint. So everybody's going to have, I guess, home grow. I just see this here. Now, he grows weed in the backyard at the joint, and he has no problems. And he shows it off. And I love it. But nobody's arresting him.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can't get 12.
Yeah, that's a pretty unique situation.
So we got South River on Monday, October 7th at 7 p.m. Ignorance is no excuse. South River fighting for a sign, a stop for pedestrian sign, preferably a traffic light. But we all know traffic lights cost between $500,000 and $800,000. So a sign would do good for now. 2 signs on Cam Avenue, and then October 15th, Sayreville. I'm going to make a date for October 9th for Edison. The next Edison one is October 9th. I'll make a date for that one.
Yeah, that's well. They may have Zoom for that one by then, though. Would you go to? If they have Zoom, wouldn't you just attend by Zoom meeting?
Yes, and I would wear a mask.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
A health mask.
I mean, basically, I think in an actual meeting, they'd be discussing the fact that that's the way to keep you away. It's let go to rope. It's a Zoom meeting. We can do it. And then we'll request that he wear his mask at a Zoom meeting. No, he'd come back just to wear it here. I think I don't know, that was such a special meeting, the last one, that people with issues ever at town council meetings should take a look at that. Maybe you could become a professional. People would say, listen, I know you like what we're trying to do here, but we can't get it done. Can we pay you to start coming to our town council meetings? You could get donations just by showing up. There's a guy that I couldn't tell you what state, but that does protest for money for people. It has to be an issue he's aligned with. And, where he actually spends money on it because what he's getting paid, he needs a budget. And I wish I could remember where it was.
What does he do? What does he do with the money?
It would be like, the kind of person where if you said, listen, we want to hire you to help us with protest Scutari, he might be the one who has a plane circling overhead with a banner or something, and just doing stuff and getting people out. And I guess he has a decent track record, although I was just surprised when I find somebody else's, I thought about how that'd be kind of nice, not for me, because I really hate doing it. I don't like doing that. I don't leave to try to piss somebody off thinking, awesome, great day. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like
How much do you think an airplane would cost with a banner?
Oh, it was $300 when I was thinking of doing it.
That's
actually, well, it has to do with, making the banner is a price, and then there's a price for flying it. So the making it up is enough of a price that you'd kind of want to be able to do it more than once. And what I wanted to do was James Holsapfel lives on the properties right at the bay, and the bay is his backyard, Barnegat Bay. Air, land, and sea. He's about a mile from where people could gather at Hooper Avenue, and where the parking lots are there, and then march up Silver Bay Road to his house and protest to his house, where a couple of people with boats would be like at his backyard on the bay with signs, and then with a banner plane circling overhead, the air, land, and C thing. And I really, really want to do that. And Jimmy Ho was the right guy too, you know. I feel like engaging him with, you know, he was right, except for the next thing you know was the wrong phrase. He was all against medical cannabis because the next thing you know would be legal for everybody, when he ignored Diane Ripatella and the other two in the back of the assembly chambers being introduced. And when people would turn their heads around, he was too busy scribbling some notes because he was going to be the against passing the medical bill. And it was going to pass. So he was just doing that and didn't even look at Diane, you know. So anyway, that was sort of like, yeah, I wanted a piece of that. And it turned out to be a matter of money. I had two people with boats ready to do it. And it was a good walk. Hell, Sarah and I'd take a walk. Well, of course, she'd take a roll. I'd push her wheelchair. But we'd have we'd walk up Silver Bay Road to go for a walk, her, me, and Floyd. And we'd stand outside his house for about 5 minutes, just sort of looking at it, you know. Yeah. 313 Silver Bay Road. Yeah, something. And wouldn't you know it, he's still around. He hasn't been much of a vocal opponent of anything, though. He's been pretty low key. You're muted. Yeah. I'm trying to say you're muted more often than I hear somebody tell me you're muted. You know, I want to be one up on you on that.
No, I wasn't talking. I was just moving out to my smoking area.
No, I know that. We're familiar with the walk.
I'm hiding.
Oh, come on. There's something kind of ironic about it, though, you know.
I choose to do this. I could be in Bayonne doing this, but I'd rather be here at the dispensary where nobody else has this. So this is pretty cool. I like this.
Well, it is, and your setup's pretty good. And I forget who it was that really loved the sound that you had that radio voice there. That this is really a good. I don't know why it sounds better than in the past when everything is, of course, working properly. But yeah, it is a good spot. It's more. That's like all it is. It's your studio, as opposed to your bedroom or something.
Basement. I love my basement, but this is a little better. Except for the smoking, it's better. And I'm smoking right now, so I'm fine. I'm happy. Still doing.
Could do a magic trick. You could hand me that, and it would turn into a little joint instead of what you're smoking, and then I could hand it back.
It works for me as I go out.
You could pull the blunt back. We could do a magic trick. Yeah. Anyway, I do have fun. It's like Lefty's Playhouse on Tuesdays, you know.
This is Lefty and Jim's Playhouse.
Yeah, it serves my purpose because
Bear, where's Bear? Is Bear there? I don't even know if Bear's there anymore. He's probably so stoned right now. He probably passed out, watching Deadpool for the 10th time. Oh, he's in his car.
Yeah.
Still here?
Still there?
Yeah, I'm right here. I was just watching. I might have dozed off once or twice, but I was still here.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Jim, do you like superhero movies, Jim?
Some, yeah. I don't gravitate towards them, but more so since Tom Hardy started playing Venom with that role, because he's like my favorite actor. And then I thought, this is like really pretty cool. So I branched out a little bit, showed me it could be done.
Okay, so you like anti-heroes.
Yeah. Well, he's just like, he's an amazing actor, and the stuff he's been in, between Peaky Blinders and
that was
about the Craig brothers. What's it called? He plays both parts, both twins.
Yeah.
And just the fact that he is that kind of guy to a degree, that he learns whatever mixed martial arts he learns. And when he entered a contest, but not with cameras and everything, he won a contest, and he showed up, and everybody's like, this fucking Tom Hardy,
Yeah.
and he did win in whatever class he was in, because he is good, but he was the most polite and regular guy. He's his own person. He gives the best interviews too. I mean, you go to YouTube and any Tom Hardy interview. But anyway, yeah, Venom. That's just like a really freaky, cool character. And something else before that. It seems like there's no shortage of them now, though.
I just watched Deadpool, and it was. I have to finish it. It was great.
Really?
Yeah, really good. It's got everybody in it.
Yep.
Really? Huh.
Good movie.
Yeah, I gotta start. I'm gonna pick and choose some on like Netflix or whatever the hell else we got, Paramount Plus or something. Start watching some of that. I need a good something to not binge watch, but have that. Hey, I got time for an episode. All right, and I got nothing going in between everything. Speaking of in between, Mr. In Between, did you ever watch any of that? You watch the shorts on where they got all the best scenes. I've watched whole things I can't watch, all the little clips from YouTube, and I kind of get what's going on. And if I ever, when I do, then, oh, look, now I can watch it. It doesn't spoil it. It's fun watching it, and it all, stringing it together.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And like now it's network, not now, newsroom. With Jeff Daniels, it's kind of interesting with today's, view from a newsroom in today's climate, and it was already kind of like that. And it's just some good stuff. But Tom Hardy, there's no shortage. I haven't seen Peaky Blinders yet, but
Great show.
Yeah, well, Alfie Solomon's one of my favorite characters. You ever watch that? I mean, if you don't know who Alfie Solomons is, it'd be hard. But the idea, the guy that would be the fairly orthodox Jewish presence of, the England equivalent of what would be going on in New York in those times with organized crime and how it was there. But Alfie Solomon, I got to see that. The whole time having a meeting with a guy, the American Mafia, and they come to where he does his business, and he's got his eyes closed, and he's like, hold on, for I think it was 30 minutes a day or something like that. He just doesn't use his eyes. And why? Because, wise man once said and whatever, and some sort of thing. I don't know. It's just like, you'd have to see it. Yeah. So what's the the superhero thing besides Deadpool? What would you recommend?
Oh, besides Deadpool,
Yeah.
Black Adam.
Really?
Really?
Awesome. No, I mean it's like
Black Adam.
I've seen
It's Shazam. It's a
I've seen
Shazam.
YouTube episodes of this. I have. Yeah.
What do you mean, Bear? What do you think I was gonna say?
I don't know. I didn't know you were gonna say Black Adam. I mean, there's a lot of movies you could have said.
Well, in the last 10 years, what would you say in the last 10 years was like a great superhero movie?
Yeah, good question.
Avengers. Avengers, of course. Right? That's 10 years.
Well, that's a whole bunch of superheroes. I mean, how many Avengers are there? That's like,
yeah.
Seems like that's half of what's going on.
Yeah, that's 3 or 4 so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great series to watch. If you never saw the Superman movie, that's a great one too. The one with Henry Cavill. That's a great one. That's a really good movie. I like the way they portrayed him in that particular Superman and the way they spun the Superman story. It was still the original story, but the way they did it, it was great.
I would probably like that. I was like I got a Superman comic the late 50s through early 60s every Sunday when it was like, especially early, it was like Sunday school shit, and it's like, but you can get a comic on the way home. Oh, I'm in. That's what got me to Sunday school, and it was all Superman, and then Batman would be second. And I wouldn't hang around with anybody that read Archie comics then, because how do you want to read that crap? Look, you got Superman.
I read Archie. I read Richie Rich, bro. I read Richie Rich.
Oh, I like Richie Rich.
Hell yeah.
I'm an enigma, man.
Yeah, Richie Rich was it.
Yeah. Plus, I was like a little kid, and it really messed me up when I found out his name wasn't Reggie. It's Reggie. And I'm like, Reggie? In my head, he's Reggie. It didn't fit, And then shit started happening with the fun stuff. Like I thought like Charlie Brown was real cool, And then they made the cartoon, and that's not what Charlie Brown sounds like. Holy shit! None of because I had my own
image of Charlie Brown was supposed to sound like.
Yeah, well, I mean, because the cartoons came out when I wasn't like an older and fully grown adult, maybe even that. I don't know when they came out, but there weren't any, Damn, he didn't sound like that.
The Joker comes out.
That's how I learned to read comics, I mean, the earliest memories were I'd sit on the right side of Dad, and Rick would be on the left, and he'd have the Sunday comics out, the whole Sunday comic section. And then that's where we'd learn to read, And then I remember I was so happy when I could actually get a comic book and nobody had to read it to me. I mean, we got them all the time. I think Dad liked comics. I think he's probably, hey, let's get the kids some comics. My dad was not what you would call like a great influence in the normal sense. But it's scary how much we might have been alike. When I look back and go, I can't be like him, Yeah. He took money from his mom to buy baseball cards when he was a kid. And man, I didn't take money from nobody, but I'd go out and clean people's driveways and garages out, make a nickel and a quarter. And when I could buy 20 packs of baseball cards, I'd go get them and I'd chew all the gum. All right, this is a fun playhouse.
The Joker movie comes out like this week.
Who plays Joker? Do you know who's
Got Queen.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. Yeah, that should be good.
That's going to be really good. I might have to go to the movie theater for that one.
Really?
Yeah, because I could vape in the movie theater.
Yeah, you can vape that anywhere, really. Stay at a bathroom, you know. I do that at casinos when, you know, you go into the bathroom, I go sit in the stall and vape and walk out and go, holy crap, I'm in a casino.
Yeah.
Just that immediate back into the lights and the freaking sounds and stuff.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Just in case you're wondering, Mets are losing 2-0. 2-0.
Yeah.
Nope, definitely wasn't wondering, but okay.
I'm not wondering about them. I can't watch baseball. It's kind of boring to watch, but I just like the and that was always my game as a kid, and I was very good at it. But I just love him this year's Shohei Ohtani story. You know, I mean, who is the unicorn in the entire game of baseball in its 150 some years? You know, I think there's probably people in this country that can't come to grips with. So basically, that he could be the best like ever in so much, and he's from Japan. He doesn't even speak good English. I felt like, yeah, that's right, motherfuckers. It's a game of baseball, and Americans aren't the greatest. Oh, by the way, you want to see a good soliloquy? Go on uh, um, Newsroom and type in Newsroom. America isn't the greatest country in the world, and it'll be Jeff Daniels' monologue when asked why the United States is the greatest country in the world in a town hall thing as a news person, and you know, like a major news person. And then he couldn't answer that question, and then said why, and it's freaking brilliant, you know. Yeah.
No jury will convict a small-scale grower. I think that's what's going to change the law. Is if a activist
I think that would
goes
be
up the chain.
That would be accurate.
Because a lot of civil rights was changed because of the judicial system. Things had to be adjudicated left and right during the civil rights era.
Mm-hmm.
Because people kept breaking the law.
You know, I don't know what movie it was at the time, but I watched it with Cheryl, and it was the one that really kind of got her jazzed up to go to Washington and get arrested. It was, you know, I guess it was after the Evan T. Pettis Bridge crossing and the water cannons and everything that followed. But it was known that people would be gathered up the next day or whatever, you know, and rounded up and brought to police stations. You know, I mean, you know, they had enough people in mind they would be going after. And one particular man, they just showed it was quiet. He got up. I mean, it's early, and the getting ready and putting on his tie and his jacket and his hat. Very, very not slow but deliberate. And then getting on down to the police station, walking in at like 6 a.m. And it'd be like, I mean, if his name was Jim Miller, it'd be, my name's Jim Miller. I hear you looking for me. Here I am. You know, I mean, he came walking in proud as shit, you know, and like ready for it. And it was like very impressive. Yeah, I mean, even though it was just a movie and all, you know. But yeah, small scale grower with a lawyer, you know, who would be able to know how to go about that. I did enjoy going to especially Weedman, the Burlington County trial. You know, it was what a sham. I mean, what a zoo, just by the absurdity of it. And the sheriff's officer is asking me to go out and tell Weed Man and the people with him and by his van in the parking lot to stop smoking pot. Actually asked me to go out and do that because I was just like hanging around, and they knew I was with them because I was protesting outside plus coming inside, And then it occurred to me that his whole defense was this was mine. It's like 2 pounds, Oh, hell, I can smoke 2 pounds all by myself. So if they arrested him or cited him or anything, that bolsters his defense, I mean, the idea. It's just fun watching somebody do that, It's like, in his own opening statement, I smoked a joint right before coming in here. I'm going to be smoking during lunch. I'm going to smoke as soon as I get out of court, It's weird defense. It was, yeah.
It worked.
Well, it did. And it was, I don't know. I think I enjoyed showing up at that more than anything else at that time, only because once the judge heard that there was a story in the paper about my sign, and it was tainting the jury pool, it was kind of fun, because like when you're at Weedman's trial, you're kind of under his umbrella, and I'm thinking, okay, you might mess with me at any other trial, but you're not going to mess with me because I'm doing this for him. It's kind of fun, It's like having some sort of immunity, and it worked well, They did take 2 signs from me, and I gave them willingly, Then I told them I needed to go through whatever process it was to recover the money for the poster boards. They were 75 cents each, and they seemed really flustered. They're yanking their chain. And that worked out well for them, so. Yeah, there's going to be a letting go of the rope on this. I mean, nothing ever seemed to change 90 degrees when a law gives such an opening. Like the absurdity, it's you can't have a live weed specifically, but a dead one you can. I mean, the fact, if it's not a dead plant, you're in trouble. That's it's kind of funny, it's the dividing line in effect at any stage of alive, Hey, and if you're a right to lifer, you would think all seeds, now that there's seeds, they should have a right to grow. That's the plan. I'll never get over that. I mean, most amazing plant maybe ever. Illegal. Human species, they suck.
Ignorance and stigma and racism. It started with the Chinese, how they took the opium trade away from the Chinese and controlled that. And then they did the same thing with black and brown people, saying marijuana coming from Mexico was, the whole story.
Yeah.
And it's just been a control issue for the government, using racism, using whatever means necessary to have power and control over the people and not give us our rights.
The fact that it seems to me way back in the day, certainly long before my day even, it was more integral in the black community, especially in Harlem, and jazz musicians, all of a sudden became the threat to white people, that they would lure white women with, what'd they call it then? I don't even know what they called it. I know the Viper was the dealer, I believe, they didn't have pushers and dealers, Oh man, I'm about to get off. I see Midman's about to get on. I can stay around for a second.
I think he's having some issues here.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I should have been off 10 minutes ago. I got like It's like dinner time and it's other people. All right, well, listen, I'm going to get going then unless he pops on quick.
Yeah, give you 10 seconds, Medman, and we're jumping off because we're going to have dinner now. Oh, hold on. Hit something here. What does it say here? It says depends on the court. What is it is unless they catch you growing when the plant is in flower, you're only growing hemp without a permit. And then just snip it, snip, and they're all dead.
Yeah, that's the funny part. I mean, once it's dead, you got a shot. Yeah, I'll tell you, it does seem that I would have absolutely no argument about that it's going to take place in the courts, actually. I mean, because it's all, in my opinion, quite correct. Well, I don't know. What about 84 plants, though? I mean, we got sort of a testing coming up, I guess. That's like more than a little bit, though. That's why the first thing when you said, telling me about that, it just seemed like a large number where that's in a different ballpark than I have any idea.
Could be a collective for cancer patients or other people that are sick and suffering.
Oh, could be, yeah. Could be, absolutely. But, with a small, if there's anything that would be more of a personal nature, like single digit number or something. Yeah, it'd be tough to get you get a lawyer, you definitely wouldn't have sanctions, I wouldn't think.
Well, you saw the poll we took, and most people thought you can grow weed, and a lot of people said 97 plants. You can grow 97 plants, one lady said.
I like her optimism.
99 is the federal minimum mandatory sentencing.
99 is something. I know that is fact. Well, anyway, it is better than it was. Do you ever look in the rearview mirror long enough to really appreciate? I mean, because what we are more you and other people and me do is try to change the things that need changing, and it's not going fast, and certainly for home girl for patients, but for anything. But we are so much better off than 10 years ago. Yeah, you go to smoke across the street as a patient at the state house.
You know what? All legalization did was raise my prices. In actuality, it raised my prices.
Huh.
That's how I'm looking at it. From an economic standpoint, my prices just went up because it's legal now. So I go to the black market where I'm still couldn't get in trouble. So I still have the stresses of before.
I haven't seen a dispensary since the last time I was there with you, and neither one of us bought anything.
No. Let's see. 99, you're looking at 25 years federal before eligible for release, if I remember.
Fuck. That's I'd be 97. All right, listen. I'm going to have to leave Lefty's Playhouse.
Yep. Good night, everybody. Good night, Bear.
All right.
Hey, Bear. Good seeing y'all. See you later, Medman.
Later, Medman. Black market will always welcome you and not make you hide. I'm going to go hide in my truck now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's where I go, I suppose. Got a gift, though. Every now and then that happens, So we got a recent gift, and that take care of things for a little bit, too. All right. Gonna go have some gift.
Hey, Ed, where you headed?
All right, man. How do I get